It was raining that night. The streets of Lahore glowed under dim yellow lights, and I was standing under a half-broken umbrella near a roadside cafe when she suddenly ran toward me, breathless, her eyes wide, fear trembling in her voice. "Please, pretend to kiss me. He's watching." I froze. Her hand gripped my collar, pulling me closer before I could ask a single question. I could feel her heartbeat pounding against my chest. I whispered, half shocked, half concerned, "Everything okay, my love?" She didn't reply, just held on tighter. Behind her, a black car slowed down near the corner, headlights cutting through the rain. Whoever was inside wasn't just watching, they were hunting. That's the moment everything changed. My name is Aeon, a 27-year-old photographer trying to rebuild his life after losing everything in a car accident 2 years ago. I had lost my fiancé, my passion, and the fire to live. Photography used to be my escape, but after that night, every click of the camera reminded me of what I'd lost. That rainy evening, I was returning from a shoot when fate introduced me to her. She wore a simple maroon shawl, soaked from the rain, her makeup smudged, her eyes wide with desperation. The kind of look only someone running from pain could have. When she said those words, "Please, pretend to kiss me," I didn't know why I obeyed. Maybe it was the fear in her voice. Maybe because, for a brief second, I saw something in her eyes I recognized, brokenness. The car behind us lingered for a moment, then sped off. When she finally let go, she whispered, almost trembling, "Thank you, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to drag you into this." Her name was Zara. She was being followed by her ex-fiancé, a rich businessman named Saad, who couldn't accept that she had left him after discovering his violent temper and manipulative nature. We sat inside the cafe, rain still beating against the glass. She told me everything. About how she had tried to escape an engagement her family forced on her, how she was hiding from Saad who wouldn't let her live freely, and how no one believed her story. I listened quietly, sipping coffee, watching her hands tremble as she tried to hold the cup. For the first time in years, I forgot my own pain. I didn't know why, but I wanted to protect her, even though she was a stranger. Before leaving, she said softly, "You saved me tonight. Maybe God sent you." And she smiled. A small, tired, but real smile. That smile stayed in my mind for days. Days turned into weeks. Zara started coming to the cafe where I often worked on my photos. Sometimes she brought her sketchbook. She was an artist, she said, who once dreamed of illustrating children's books. We began to talk, laugh, and share pieces of our broken pasts. She learned about my lost fiancé. I learned about the cage her family had built around her. Slowly, the distance between two strangers began to shrink. But fate wasn't done testing us. One night, when I was locking up the cafe, I found Zara waiting outside, pale, shaken. She whispered, "He's back. He found me." I didn't think. I just took her hand and said, "Come with me." We ran through the empty streets until we reached my apartment. I gave her a blanket and tea, and she broke down crying. For the first time, she wasn't pretending to be strong. That night, as she slept on the couch, I watched her, realizing that this was more than just protecting someone. It was feeling alive again. But the next morning, Saad came. He showed up at my door, furious. "Stay away from her. She's mine." For a moment, my fear returned, the same helplessness I felt when I couldn't save the woman I once loved. But this time, I refused to run. I stepped between them. "She's not an object, Saad. She chose to walk away. Respect that." Saad laughed bitterly. "And who are you? Her hero?" Zara stepped forward, her voice steady now. "No. He's the man who treated me like I mattered, something you never did." For the first time, Saad's arrogance cracked. He left, slamming the door. Zara turned to me, tears in her eyes. "You didn't have to do that." I smiled softly. "Maybe not. But maybe this time, pretending to be your love wasn't pretending anymore." She smiled through her tears. "You really said that again. Everything okay, my love?" We both laughed. A real, healing kind of laughter. A year later, one of my photos won an award. A picture of Zara standing by the same cafe window where we first met, smiling as rain fell outside. The caption read, "Sometimes love begins with fear, and ends with peace." We opened a small art studio together. Her drawings, my photographs, a space for stories told by those who survived their storms. Whenever someone asked how we met, we both just smiled and said, "It started with a kiss that never happened, but changed everything." True love doesn't begin with perfection. It begins with protection, trust, and healing. Sometimes, Two broken souls meet not by accident, but because destiny knows they can fix each other in ways no one else can.